Hello, ladies and females, and men and males. I'm gonna be creating variables. I'm gonna be showing you how to create those. Okay, let's start off. You create your variables in a create event. So whenever you want to create a variable, you can sometimes create them in the step event. I'll show you how to do that later. But in the create event is where you create like variables. So make a create event, drag in a variable or a code block. So we are going to type in something. If you're familiar with algebra, which you probably are if you're in 7th grade or past 7th grade, you'll know a variable is like a placeholder for something. Like, hold on, x equals 10. X plus 10 equals 20. That makes sense, right? You're setting x to a value of 10. So basically, you're just saying 10 plus 10 equals 20. Basically, it's not that hard. But how do we create a variable? Well, you just saw me do it. X, or we can't do x. That's actually a coordinate in GameMaker. So we have to name it something. The rules for naming a variable is you cannot make it begin with a number, or else it won't do anything. It'll just give you an error. And you cannot I don't know, I forgot. It can't be the name of GameMaker's functions or built-in variables. So if you want to make a variable called I don't know, gravity, that's already in GameMaker. See, it turned red. That's already in GameMaker, so you're gonna have to create another variable. I don't know, call it like grav or something. Grav equals 20. That'd be a lot of gravity, but so yep. Let's create a variable. The different data types of variables. Here's an integer. You actually don't need to say int. Like if you're familiar with another coding language, you don't need to say int. Whatevs equals 10. You just say whatevs equals 10. And if you're creating a float, which is just a number with a decimal, like you don't need to say float whatevs. Whatevs float equals whatever equals 10.5 or 2, whatever. You don't need to do that. Or same with string. Well, that's actually a variable. It's like casting, getting the string version of a integer. I'll get into that later. Basically, you can create a variable and assign it to anything besides this, unless skfke is another variable. So you can assign variables to other variables and numbers and strings. A string is basically this. A string is text, so you can do str or whatever equals this. Then you create a variable. So let's use our variables. Create a variable. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm gonna make it an integer. I'm gonna call it int equals 10. So we're creating an integer called int equals 10. You don't need to declare it, so I don't know why I'm calling them integers. You can just call it a variable. And then to test it out, I know you don't know what this does yet, but just to test if you're doing it right, you can do draw underscore text, x comma y comma, and then do your variable name. And just string int. So if it's not a string, you do string around it to cast it into a string. I'll get into all of this stuff later. But if it is a string, just do the name of your variable. If it's not, do string, and then in parameters, the variable name. And then you place it wherever in your room, and then play the game. Boom, 10. That was amazing. Yup. I'll be getting into something better than variables, like better, than variables. So stay tuned if I can get this to download. Anyways, Yup. Leave a comment on what I should do next because I'm all out of ideas. Thank you for watching. I think I'll be getting into drawing text later, or next tutorial. So, yep.